Waiting to go live.
We are live.
Woo! Sweet. Do we do the countdown? We're meant to do the countdown.
Are we?
We can do whatever you want to do. We're live right now, man, I think.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Backbenchers podcast. My name is Sam. I'll be your host for this evening. And joining me tonight, we have Marcus. Marcus, how you going, mate?
I'm good. They couldn't get enough of me. The fans were urging. They were like, Marcus needs to be here. And so I've unfortunately killed all the other hosts, and now I'm officially locked in here. Jordo has to be here, but I'm officially here now. I'm excited. Super excited to get underway. And yeah.
I'm absolutely the newbie here, and I will absolutely accept it. Jordo, welcome back.
Thank you.
It's great to have you here.
Thank you. It's good to be here, being part of the furniture.
Absolutely. I've loved, can I just say off the bat, I've loved your takes over the last few weeks. The cast assessments were fantastic. Going through everything, I felt like you really broke it down. You had some funny little takes in there too. So yeah, really, really just loved it so much. So how good?
Very good.
So Backbenchers podcast, where we talk about all things Survivor Canberra. And we have had the privilege of watching episode 1 of Survivor Canberra versus the world. And can I just say, it is so good that we have an Australian LRG on our screens again. Like it's felt like it's been so long, hasn't it?
Yeah. It's I feel like I've rewatched so many. I've season 2 of Canberra. I've rewatched so many damn times. I'm just excited to see new people, new faces, and discussion. There's way more discussion, I feel like, online in a ton of group chats, and which is good because it's good to see new people, and there's so many people here that have been in the community for so long, but we just haven't been able to see them play. So I'm loving it so far.
So good. And like, we're going to jump straight into it, right? Episode 1, let's start chatting about it. I wasn't here for the cast assessment, so I'm just going to chip in with a few thoughts that I have right off the bat. And can I just say, this cast is very cool. I'm loving the amount of people referring to themselves as a villain. I'm loving how analytical people say that they're going to play. I'm loving that there is quite a diverse group of people in how they approach life and how they approach the game. And so we heard about that in the cast assessments from their videos. We got to see just a taste of it in episode 1. And so as we go through this, I'm keen to unpack with you guys, what have we seen from the videos, and does it connect with what we've seen of how they play? So keep that in mind. We want to hear that in the comments too. So make sure you comment along. Send us your questions, send us your thoughts. We're just going to throw out some stuff, and we'll see where it lands, all right? But straight off the bat, great intro. It's a great vibe. That first little segment before the credits at the start, I thought was so cool. It feels really fresh. It feels really fun. It does feel different to season 2. And I think that was an intentional decision that they made. But this cast make it so good. I love that Ed was just the start before anything happened. I thought that was just so funny.
Bloody Ed never stops talking.
He's going to bring great vibes, I think, throughout the whole season. And so we'll see where that goes. We'll see how it happens. We then get to see Dan and Liv straight off the bat. And isn't it good to see Dan and Liv on our screens? Aren't they just the most you just feel like you're their friends. Just love them so much.
But let's talk about his hair for a moment.
Yes.
Good grief. God bless his soul. I reckon that was COVID hair.
Yeah.
I was shocked. Absolutely shocked.
I thought it was a wig at first. I'm like, what's happening here? Is this for real? But no, that was Dan in his glory.
Absolutely. And then we get to see Soph on our screens.
Yeah.
Soph doing the welcome, the acknowledgement to country. And that was beautiful. What a beautiful moment that she would.
It was lovely. It was lovely.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I love that. I actually read that in my notes that it was cool to see her, and it actually gave me goosebumps. I thought that was a really good intro to the start of the game.
So cool. She did such a great job. And it was just good to see Soph, So, Ma agreed too. Yeah, it was absolutely a great way to start the season, I reckon. So yeah, we've done a cast assessment. We won't spend too much time going into that little like tidbits that we got from everyone because yeah, I think a lot's been covered. But what I would say is that I just want to refer back to your Ma Mountain, Marcus, for a second. And we'll talk about it more later, right?
Yeah.
I'm surprised that, like, for me, Todd was someone who stood out to me. And I feel like in the cast assessments, I don't know. I just felt like stuff was like, yeah, he was sort of like pushed to the side a little bit, maybe a bit nothing. But I don't know. What do you guys think about Todd?
What, as in like airtime that he got, or
yeah, airtime, but also yeah, like he wasn't included on the Ma Mountain. I thought he would have been higher on. I thought he would have been featured on your mountain. Marcus is basically what I'm saying.
Yeah, but let's be real. Marcus was wrong, so you know that matter.
The mountain.
That's it.
See, look, guys, I want to make clear. I want to make this clear to the viewers and to you guys that the mountain is not in my control. The Ma Mountain is ruthless. It picks who it wants. It picks the chosen ones, and I have no control over it. Every day, I close my eyes and I let Ma take over me, and she just picks who goes in the mountain, and it's out of my control. And I love Todd. I thought Todd was really cool. I'd love to see a little bit more of him, but you know, maybe he's on the mountain this week. Maybe he isn't. We'll find out later in the episode.
Okay. Sounds good. Oh, here's Soph, just by the way. Yeah. Thank you.
That's Soph. Love you, Soph.
See you, Soph. Love you.
Legend. Awesome. Yeah, we then hear from everyone. We get a little bit of like their thoughts and their vibes, and Andrew, being an economist, couldn't even remember his age, and like, you know, there's different like bits like that. I thought that like that was really fun. And I thought that was like, I wonder from Andrew, because I think that he's quite a strategic person. As we've seen, I really loved him on Backyard. I wonder if there was an intentional, like, you know, joke or like, you know, to put people at ease a little bit, like, hey guys, I'm here to have fun. You know, I feel like he's got that in him to be pretty strategic like that on how he wanted to start the game. What do you reckon?
Yeah, 100% agree. I think he's got that's just Andrew. I think he's a lot smarter. Like, he definitely extends the goofiness of his personality, I think, to kind of mask how smart he really is. And you can even tell later on in the episode when he's straight away throwing people under the bus with certain notes, and he's definitely on it. And there's the good people, the good strategic people will notice that, and you even saw in the episode. And I think it's going to be wonders for him.
Yeah, absolutely. He definitely was protecting Canberra. And what was the quote he said? I wrote it down. Johnny come lately out of town carpetbaggers. I could not stop laughing. It's like, obviously he's gunning for Canberra Tribe and that's it. So if there's ever a merge, the rest are gone according to him, unless he goes first. So yeah, he was definitely on a mission and ruthless from the beginning.
Absolutely. Nick agrees. Loved Andrew playing hard from the start, full of classic one-liners too. Oh, he's just full of great content so far, and we are all here for it. Absolutely.
Well, the sun shines on the darkness was another one.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
I think. Yeah,
absolutely. That was in there. Yeah. Love the awesome. What was here? Love the welcome mat just for the original ways living. Yeah, described everyone's hats. That was so good. Oh man.
Oh, those hats. Speaking of, why is Oscar wearing his hat like that? I can't cope. Put it on your face properly, mate. You might as well not be wearing it. Right. That's the first thing I noticed. I'm like, dude, put your hat on properly, please.
Hat advice from Jordo straight off the bat. Plenty more to come with that. All right. How about we jump into a bit of a recap of the initial tribes? Marcus, do you have a bit of a breakdown of like where these tribes sit? Like, yeah. What are your initial thoughts?
Yeah, let's whack up. Let's see if I can do this. We're learning on the go here, but let's see if we can do this. Can we do this? Let's see if we can work it out. Maybe we can't. Maybe do this.
Hey.
Boom. Guys, I am a technological wizard.
That is nice.
If you ever need any IT help, don't contact me. But yeah, early on we had these two tribes, Canberra versus the world. I felt that obviously this episode we got a lot more of the world's dynamics as a whole. I definitely think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I definitely feel like the tribe was set up for Eden to do very well. I felt like having Bethany, Anthea, Maddie, and Squin. They were all people that were just easily attracted to him, and that kind of worked in that way. And I felt like it was very tough for people like Aiden and Jay. Like, there's not a lot of people that I felt like they naturally were attracted to, connection wise, and it kind of just left them as the odd ones out, and it just became a simple scenario of who
But in
goes.
saying that, remember when I watched Aiden's interview, I said he was like sort of boring and didn't have any animation. I've changed my mind. Like, he actually was out there and was trying. You know, he worked hard in the challenges, and he was out there actually trying to make connections with people. And it was actually, I take back what I said earlier, because he came out of his shell in the episode. So, yeah,
100%. And I also think, and then in regards to the Yellow Tribe, I feel like with the World Tribe, we definitely got to see where the alliances were and really lock stuff in. Even before the vote, I think we kind of could tell the groups. Whereas Yellow, there's a lot of like, I like this person, I see potential in this person. We don't really have a clear 4v4 or a 5 and a 3. Like, you got people like, I know a lot of people are really liking Edge. You hear stuff like Pauline saying that she wants to really push him as the leadership role, which is exactly what I was hoping Pauline was going to do. You had stuff like Oscar and Andrew really liking the whole, throwing Lauren under the bus. Like, I really like that kind of dynamic. So I think there's a lot of different things. I don't really know in particular where the Canberra tribe goes. Like I kind of felt going into the first episode that Jay or Aiden could have been in trouble on the World Tribe. That would have been my guess. But on the Yellow Tribe, like, I can't really think of it. Oh, this person will go if they lose next. But what do you guys think?
No, I agree. There's a lot more cohesion with the Yellow, with Canberra tribe. I felt like there was already fractures showing from the beginning with the Black tribe. They were, even some of them were forming alliances, but then they would form alliances with someone else. There was just little cracks showing already in that. So, but it was just interesting that Jay and Aiden were the ones chosen at the end. Maybe they weren't. We didn't see what they had done through the game. We only saw what we saw on the TV. On the episode. Obviously there was more to it than what we saw, and as to why they were chosen. But it's very interesting.
Yeah, it is very interesting. And we alluded to it before, but Andrew is very chatty. Andrew is like not afraid to put out an agenda right now. Like, he wants, straight off the bat, he's gathering people. He's like, let's unite under this Canberra banner, and like, nothing's gonna penetrate that. Like, this is it. We're gonna be a tight group, and like, the world has no chance. And that is a really strong way to go about the game straight off the bat. What I did pick up on was, from Oscar's perspective anyway, he's really keen for Pauline and Andrew and him to sort of solidify something together. So it'll be interesting to see if that comes up. So that's from Oscar's perspective. Lots of positive chat of Ed, by the way. Like, everyone's like really loving Ed and really wants him around for a bit, from what we saw on the episode anyway. And then on the flip side, there's lots of concern about Loz. Like, there is everyone has Loz on the radar right now. Loz or Lauren, whatever you want to say. But yeah, so Loz is on the radar. She is being spoken about already. I don't know if she knows it yet, but do you think, because obviously at the very start, the scrolls got given out. Squin got it for World, and Loz got it for the Canberra tribe. Do we think, what do we think about that little bit in terms of what, and Loz's role in that? Like, I feel like that obviously painted a target on her back, but how did she deal with it? Do you feel like she could have dealt with it a different way?
Well, considering she sort of kept that scroll to herself, that already painted a target, because everyone thought she was, being secretive, and that she had worked out a clue from it, or there was already, something she didn't read out. So, had she not done that, it probably would have been all right. But, at the beginning, she kept it secretive for no reason, I think. And so that sort of, I think, put that target on her back. Whereas I think from the beginning, when they were chosen to go and grab it, it was just those two who just went, I'll volunteer to pick it up. I don't think there was anything from it until she actually had it.
Yeah, absolutely. I love this from James Wolfe. Canberra tribe just can't handle the Loz villain origin story. Look, I don't doubt it. I feel like I can't even tell you how much I'm loving just like a villain character. I'm a little bit over like US Survivor and the non-villain type people that are playing there. Like, I feel like this spices it up, and I feel like we've got a few potentials here, and I'm loving it from Loz.
Well, she did admit that she wanted to be the villain, so
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, let's see more of it. I don't know how well it's going to go for her when Andrew's pushing the whole kumbaya. Apart from Loz, have you thought about Loz? Like, I don't know how that's going to work for her. But just some
Yeah,
thoughts.
it's funny that you pointed that out with Andrew. I think that's definitely Andrew's strategy. Is he's a very us versus them type mentality, and he always finds a common enemy. And so I think he definitely is setting up Loz as that common enemy. And then the idea is hopefully if they get into a swap, like as what happened on even on Backyard, he had a lot of scenarios where it was a 3-3 swap, but because he'd had these really loyal guys with him, they were willing to go as far as he wanted them to go. So I definitely think Lauren is in a bit of trouble, especially people like Oscar and that. Like, so obviously Andrew's someone that if people like his personality, he can run a tribe. But if instantly someone goes, "Oh, this guy's a bit full on. Why is he throwing this girl under the bus so early?" He could be gone. That's shot. So Oscar instantly being like, "I really like Andrew. I like that he's throwing Lauren on the bus." But it's not good signs for Lauren, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be a bit tricky. Now, was it in this part where they went straight and looked at the well? Was it in this section? Like the initial tribe?
Yeah, they worked out that it had to do with water. So I think both tribes went straight, and they were all looking actually in the water and it wasn't until everyone walked away that the others found it. Like Sab found it in underneath, and then who found it? The other one, Anthea.
Anthea found it. Yes.
Yeah. So we'll get to that. Any thoughts on the Canberra tribe while we're here? Initial thoughts?
I really like Pauline. Really stood out to me as just like very classic. Enough screen time where she's not invisible, but and everything she said backed up why she doesn't have a lot of screen time. She's playing very under the radar, and she's letting other people shine. And what a coincidence! She's saying, "Let's make Ed the leader," and what a coincidence that Ed gets all the screen time, and he's being like, "Wow, it's so much fun! I'm having such a great time." And Pauline's just there in the background, being a little smiley with a hat, being like, "Oh, we have the same hat," blah blah blah. And I love that stuff. Pauline's going to be a really big threat, and obviously Sabrina, a really big episode for her. I thought she was really good, finding the advantage, and just generally being in a lot of conversations. That really impressed me.
I just feel like Amy needed some more screen time in there. Everyone else sort of seemed to get enough, but yeah, I think Amy had the least in that. So I would have liked to have seen more of her, but hopefully we'll see more of her soon, and not because she's about to get kicked out, like it normally happens when you get a lot more screen time.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Not much from Amy. Yeah, loved the way Sab positioned herself in this. I thought it was really cool. She's in a good spot at the moment. And
well, Ed's on her side as well, so he cottoned on to the fact that she got that clue.
And isn't it funny that, like, I feel like people have two options in that case. They have the option where it's like, okay, I saw them find something, let's get rid of them without them knowing. But his first instinct was to be like, no, I want to be on her side. Like, she's the type of person that I want to be aligned with. And so I think that's really cool, because I think that people are also going to listen to Ed a lot. Because he brings the good vibes.
And because he doesn't stop talking. And I would say that with love, Ed. I do like you. It's fun.
Absolutely. Should we cross over? Go to the dark side, as Andrew.
To the dark side.
So yeah, with the world, obviously, I feel like there was a lot of stuff that went on, obviously, because they lost the immunity challenge. So we want to start with that as kind of the base for getting into them, or
we might go like before that. Let's go. Should we go? We'll cover the challenge in a second, and we'll cover a little bit of the strat chat that led into tribal. How about we go from the clue that they got as well, and just the chaos that sort of ensued after that.
Well, I think Eden created that chaos, didn't they? It was all Anthea was fine to just carry on, and then off we went. Everyone had their little tangents. It was quite funny to watch.
Yeah, I thought it was very interesting. I felt like I love when finding something connects a group together really straight away, and I felt like that was just a really good solidifier. And it's almost like I always think about, like, if I was there or if I'm watching this host doing it and I see that at the very start, I go, man, no wonder I wasn't in this alliance, because these are the people that found it. and I was just too late or just not involved. And this stuff is something you can maybe go all the way to the end, and the final three is three of those people, and you're sitting there being like, oh, that's the moment that led to everything. So I think it's really important, and good for Anthea as well. I think she's someone that's made it interesting, and the more Anthea's screen time, the better, because I think she was really entertaining for the first episode.
Yeah. But she was like just cruisy, like there was nothing major. It was just she was there and she was herself, and that was what was cool about it. She was just she was just in the moment, and yeah, I loved that.
Absolutely. And I just like, it made my heart like sing so much when she was just like, I realized today when I signed the waiver, like this is a year, exactly a year ago that I started my chemotherapy. I was like, oh, like, this is cool that you're getting to play this game and you've just like found this thing. And I'm like, that's just so, I really love hearing people's stories. That's like one of my biggest thing. And I'm just so stoked for her that she got this opportunity, you know? Yeah.
100%.
So cool.
Agreed.
So cool. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like we've said, Bethany, Eden, Maddie, Anthea sort of solidified something really quickly. Like that seems pretty solid right about now, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's
sort of the others need a swap.
In my opinion. Let's break it up. No, but like that 4 is, I really like the dynamics of that 4. It sort of did in this first part, it left everyone else just doing their own thing. Like we didn't see anything really form prior to the challenge that really encouraged us to think that anyone was really connecting deeper than just initial conversations. Not until after the challenge we really got to see where things like sort of sped up, heated up a little bit.
The only person that sort of wasn't in an alliance by that point was Jay, because like you had the 4 of them, and then I think it was John, Squin, and Aiden sort of had a chat to each other, but it was sort of like inevitable. Is that the word? Yes.
Yeah.
That he was kind of probably going to be on, you know, at least on the bottom there somewhere. So yeah, poor little guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think we're going to talk a lot about the world in a second. So should we go to our challenge possibly? And just have a bit of a chat about that. And then we'll come back to the world, and we'll definitely touch on a lot of things that happen after this, because it is wild. So the challenge for immunity and reward, got some coffee, some what was it, tea, coffee, water, that sort of sugar, that sort of stuff. Great way to start the day. That's really nice. I'm not going to lie, when they did the reveal of the statue, I thought it was like a skull with 2 giant plastic forks sticking out the top of the head.
What is it? Is it not?
No, I think that it's like the skeleton hands. I'm pretty sure is what it's meant to be. That's what I thought it was, but I was like, oh wow.
Yeah, I thought it was forks too. I'm just like, oh, it's good, you know, because you got the immunity, so you get dinner or something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe
you get your food reward.
Yeah, absolutely. No, but it looks really cool though. So really exciting. First challenge, classic Survivor aspects. Balance beam, untie the rope, throw it, drag the things across, do the puzzle. Really cool stuff. Like, I think if you know Survivor, you know sorry, just Derek.
Yeah, Derek.
Thank you, Derek. Good lines. Yes, so really cool, I reckon, to have a challenge like that at the very start. Good to just get them into it. Classic Survivor stuff, really.
Yeah, awesome. And get them all involved. They're all involved, which was good. Like they had to, they weren't allowed to do it twice, so they all had to have a go.
Absolutely. Look, did I have a problem with possibly John not doing the first part of the challenge? Maybe. I might have had a little bit of a problem with that. But he...
Feed on the beam, John. That was like the line that Liv said the whole way through.
Literally on the beam. And so anyway, so do I think that gave them an advantage in that moment? Like possibly. Did it turn around in the end? It did. So like results orientated, not too much to worry about. Hey, like what are you going to do?
Clearly that Nick didn't get it from his dad, the challenge beast.
I think he's going to be good. I think he's going to be good. down the
Yeah,
track.
he will be. He's good value. He's been good at the whole episode. I actually liked his screen time. So
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So good. But yeah, I just thought it was really interesting. He went to the side first, wasn't even on it. And then do I think that his feet were touching the ground at the back, not even on the beam, but on the base of it? Yes,
Yeah.
I do. Like, absolutely, I think that. But that's what happens in these sort of games is like I think players do just try and work out the line and where that is and try and play around it. And so I don't blame him, right? Like I don't blame him. But as a fellow host, I was like, like rules.
All those rules. Well, remember in last episode, last season, Sophie got in trouble for helping Nick.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
There was no hissy fits this time.
Here we go. John does say.
Oh, wow.
Thank you, John.
John, we saw the video.
Straight.
We saw the evidence. It was on camera.
Wow. Sam, defend yourself. Come on.
I've caused trouble already. Sorry, in the Otto household.
We've got to dust come up there.
Yeah, no, I think that they made. I think that they reminded him. He got back on. You know, they were obviously happy with the way the challenge was running, so it's really all good. I just thought it was a funny thing to bring up. Loz's balance was awesome. How good is she on that? Like, yeah, she's going to be
very
good.
impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. I think she's going to be great. Obviously, we see Jay struggle with the getting the bags back, and we also see then Aiden struggle quite a bit. On the flip side, Ed and Todd real quick with getting their bags back in the Canberra tribe, which was really caught them back up and I think put them in a really good spot for the finish.
I loved Ed's tactic that everyone then followed.
Yeah, tried it out. Yeah, the whole swing thing. That's pretty cool. And then love a bit of sneaky stuff from the other side as well when Andrew tries to get 2 bags back while doing his thing. Oh man, that was good. And they're like, no, Andrew. And like knowing who Andrew is, that was funny to me.
Very funny.
Yeah, no, I think hold on.
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay, yep. Son coming in with the goods. Yep. Backing his dad up. I get it.
Wow, family.
Very true. You play the game that's in front of you, and if they're not going to call it, then no worries. James, I don't know if it was scolding takes. Like I feel like that's a bit.
It was personal. It was personal, Sam. It was a personal attack. Clearly, you clearly had to get John, and I personally love John, so I'm gonna defend him.
Oh,
so,
John, I hope you don't feel this is a personal attack. I'm just pulling up something that I saw in the video. Anyway, John, I think you're great. I actually think you're potentially in a really good spot. So love it.
John.
But yes, Andrew trying to bring 2 back. And look, he sort of succeeded too, because I think he brought that bag closer back. So it helped probably.
Yeah.
So, hey. And then Canberra smashed the puzzle so quick. That was wild.
Yeah, it was a little easy of a puzzle. Like I did feel like, I did feel like it was a little easy, but I understand obviously it's time based and stuff. But yeah, I definitely, when you think Canberra's the world and the first word is 5 letters and there's a W in there, like it's pretty easy to kind of figure it out from there. But yeah, good on them for winning. They were there the quickest, so that's what happens. You know? Got to be faster.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
James, whatever, mate. That's all I'm going to say to you.
This is when you got to cop as the host, man. James will hit you hard with comments.
Crazy. Anyway, so anything else on the challenge?
No, it's a pretty straightforward one, wasn't it?
Yeah, awesome.
Pretty easy.
Yeah, Canberra win immunity, safe from the vote, not going to tribal, sending the world to tribal council. Yeah, so we start with the world tribe. I'm pretty sure. I think we go back to the world tribe first. Is that right? Let's go there anyway.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. They all loved John's involvement. That's what it starts with. Yeah. So look, my takes, obviously rubbish. They love John. So I love John too. And then Aiden, it's really interesting. Aiden highlights himself and Jay in his confessional as the ones really on the chopping block because of the challenge. He really thinks that that's the reason why, even though I don't think that's the reason why actually at all for either of them. But he's really certain that his social skills. No, he's not certain. He's hopeful that his social skills will be the edge over Jay when it comes to staying in the game. And then I just love that Eden and Bethany connection, like that initial connection that we saw. I was like, oh, and look, Aston's going to back me up on this. When I saw that both of them were on the same tribe, I was like, that is going to be a thing that happens. And I think that is going to be really, really fun. I think they both have the ability to be very spicy and also really good minds for the game.
I'm going to agree.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Even what?
So even though he might backstab her.
Yeah, well, that's right. That's right.
Feeling he will. He already showed signs.
Derek is vibing them as well. Absolutely. John seems in a really good spot. He highlights Eden as a potential target, but it really wasn't ever picked up properly. Eden has positioned himself very well. He is very well insulated from that 4. And no matter what conversations seem to be happening around the place, no one's keen on Eden. They're like, I'll listen to your thought, but hey, have you thought about something else? which I thought was very good for Eden. He's obviously put in a lot of work initially. Well insulated, yeah.
Or do you think that that's they're saving themselves because they can see that he's like that ruthless, that if they keep backing him and keeping him as long as they can, then they're more protected because then he'll be the next to go if anything turns around.
Oh, absolutely. And it's like I think it's such a good play from all of them at the start. I think what we've seen, I'll go into like Jay and maybe Aiden to some degree a little bit at the moment. I think they position themselves really well in the middle, which is a really great strategy. If there isn't a solid group of 4 over here and Jay finds himself in the middle with a solid 3 on this side. So it's a really great strategy, and he probably just wasn't aware of what was happening either side of him. And because he wasn't aware of that, he sort of got like left on the outs a little bit, and no one felt that he was in with them. Like, I don't know, I know you guys haven't played a game as such, but like an LRG like this. But if you were to put yourself in a situation like that, say where Jay finds himself, what would you try and do differently if you were to approach that from his perspective?
Probably just cry, to be honest, and accept the inevitable. or like do my best to try and suck up to everyone at the last minute and tell lies about everyone else.
I know that Jordo's thing was kind of a little bit a joke, but I think there is a little bit of truth in that. And I feel like with the first boot, everyone is a Survivor fan, so everyone is a thing where if in a million scenarios, I could probably get along with everyone and have a tight alliance with everyone in this thing. But when we're all Survivor fans, like if I'm in a group with people that most of them aren't Survivor fans and Jay's there, I'm probably going to link up with Jay because we have that connection. But when everyone is a Survivor fan outside of things come into contact, and for example, right, if you put those 6 starting a new job at Coles, stacking shelves, I think you would guess the people that forms together, those 5, are going to be the people that naturally would become friends earlier in the work period. And so similar to Survivor, I think the sucky thing is certain players like Jay and Aiden, there's not a lot of that type of personality and that type of male in the LRG community. So often they can sometimes be the ones that kind of get left to the side as the early vote. And it just becomes a scenario where they got to kind of figure out a way to just not be the first. Because once you're not the first, then you have time to meet everyone, learn everyone's actual personalities, and not just judge purely based off vibe. So just got to a point where I felt like both of them were just in the firing line because the others had connected quicker.
But that's what I was meaning about Aiden before, though. Like, because I got that like feeling when I saw his interview. I'm like, well, this guy's boring. Then he's not going to last long. But he actually was. I was totally wrong. Like he actually did try, and he had a personality. And he was in there. He just happened to be at the bottom of the heap because everyone else had their alliances already.
Yeah. Absolutely. Soph chiming in.
Thanks,
Chaotic coach. Love it. Yeah. So obviously Jay finds himself in a bit of an interesting spot. He throws out who's he throw out? He throws out Eden.
Yeah, Eden. Yeah.
He's the one who says Eden. So which just also is a bit of a he doesn't know what's happening. Like he doesn't know that
that straight away was like
Did he say it first, or was that name put in his head? Because remember earlier they were like, "We'll tell Jay it's Eden, but really it's Jay." Remember?
Yeah,
like,
and then
it's not even that.
Jay brought up Eden's name, but had it just been because it was placed in his head, and then it looked like he was the one that brought up Eden, when really it wasn't. Like we didn't, we don't see everything else.
Yeah. Okay. So, Jay or John? That's from Mars. Sorry. Yeah. No, that's a good question. I thought that we saw Jay say it first, but he was saying it as in that's the name that I've heard. But he was the one to vocalize it in the group of everyone. Oh yeah, John was put in his head. So that must have come from John. On you, John.
But even with the everything that he put in his head, like him saying it, like it's just, for me, it's just complete lack of social awareness of what's going on. If you see Eden, most likely from what we got the gist is Eden was involved in every important chat. And if you see him, like that's just like, it's just silly. It's just not something you don't go straight for the person that's the most popular. That's never going to work.
For sure. I think results orientated, yes, I absolutely agree. Can I see a situation where Jay doing that is like, well, Jay's not like threatening. Like, could people see him as like playing the middle ground and being like, well, he's not threatening, let's get out a threat. I can see that too from his perspective. So I don't know if it's like completely unrealistic for Jay to play the way that he did. I just think he didn't know what was happening around him and the connections that were formed. So, I felt for Jay. Let's just say that. Cool. Yeah, let's read this from James. Do you think Jay put more of a target on his back for what other players deemed as scheming, or as Aiden described as contributing to the challenge loss, or contributing to push Ian's name after the chat with John? What do you guys reckon?
I think it wasn't any of those things. I think it was literally just he was the odd one out in the vibes. And that sucks because Jay, like, I think a lot of it, people will try and throw an excuse on just to make everyone feel better. But the honest answer is you have about an hour, including a challenge and confessionals and vibing, to vote someone out that you just met 20 minutes ago. So it's a thing of you just got to go. And I know instantly when I saw the thing of it, Eden and the other girls would get together. And then it would just be a scenario of who else can latch on. And it'd be, can John latch on with them? Can Jay latch on with them? And it just became a scenario of Jay being the one that had to go, in my opinion.
Yeah, agree. Absolutely. And I think the way that like Jay probably just approached the conversations from what we saw, obviously we didn't see everything, but I feel like there was a bit of a disconnect on, guys, let's do this together. Like, let's jump in on this, where I think he was like from almost a detached place of being like, here's a thought, but like, what do you guys reckon? So I think people like might have been put off by that sort of approach because I think they wanted more of him, possibly. That's what I was reading into it, but I wasn't there. So if anyone who played knows, let us know.
Give us the inside goss.
Yeah, would love to hear it. Yeah, great. Squin then highlights Bethany as a threat, and I would say Squin seems to be very focused on challenge skill as her criteria for votes. Given her background, her sporting, situation, it sort of makes sense to me that would be something that she is very focused on. But yeah, she did seem to be pretty set on her originally. Eden then goes for Aiden because of clocking the tribe flag, which was like an interesting little take that we got. So we know that now Eden has this little symbol with him, this little disc that was on the tribe flag that Bethany nudged him on to get, not even knowing what it is. It could be a red herring. We have no idea. It could also be something. So wild at this point but I love it that they're looking, they're thinking, they're like trying to analyze stuff. I thought that was a cool moment.
Yeah, love it. Love all that stuff.
Yeah.
I loved it until Eden said he was keeping it. He found it first. Give it to her.
Finders keepers, man. Finders keepers.
Well, he wouldn't have even known if she didn't tell him. So I think it's only fair. See,
do we think it's real?
Who knows? We're probably arguing over nothing.
Look,
I think it's an idol. I think it's an idol.
It has to be.
Look, there's a couple of takes here that we'll take from the chat. I feel like it's going to be like a Simon Idol from Australian Survivor, where he believes it's real to the very end, and then something might happen. Awesome. Thank you, Chase. And also Mac chimed in. Surely the disc of the flag is just something production has thrown in to play with the players' heads. Could also be that. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
To annoy the viewers.
And love this from Eden himself. Weepers. I love it. I love that confessional. I love it so much. I think it's great.
Yeah. Very villain. It was good.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. So I love this confessional from Anthea as well. She comes out and she's like, she talks about who she's really tight with. But then she clocks Bethany as someone to work with, but also someone to watch. So she's really flagged this early on that Bethany is a great player. And it's possibly, she's even thinking, I'm only going to take her as far as I need her. Like it's convenient now because she's such a big player, but maybe we'll have to look at what that looks like before she gets me. So interesting that she's flagged that really early.
Yep.
Probably a good call, I reckon. Like Bethany seems like a
1,000%.
really switched on player, and I'm keen to see what happens there. Squin and John team up. Then Aiden comes into the mix and they form this 3. And Jay thinks he's then voting with Bethany and Maddie. He has a conversation with them about voting for Aiden.
Yeah.
So the conversation really does like go around in a bit of circles, and it's really hard to keep track of. But I mean, we see it pretty clear in the votes what happens. So we might jump into Tribal Council. Are you missing anything from the strat time? Like, have I missed anything?
No, I think it sort of Maddie created a bit of chaos too by throwing the names back and forth too, and then she wasn't even sure who she wanted to vote for, which was quite funny because she even in the voting went back and forth on her own vote. So
yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. A tight group that doesn't actually vote that tight, which is very interesting, and it'll be very interesting to see how that gets how that plays out. Awesome. Tribal recap. Should we go into it?
Let's do it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So especially what did everyone think of Tribal? I feel like the LRGs often approach it. Each host approaches them very differently. What were our thoughts on the opening Tribal, the way it flowed? I thought it was pretty. I thought everyone got to speak and you got to hear everyone's opinions. I thought the questions weren't super pressing, but I feel like we didn't just get generic answers from everyone. I thought it was pretty well timed, but I didn't feel like it went super dragged on. I felt like we got all the information we needed, and we knew it was kind of going down when the votes were read. Like I felt like it was. I really enjoyed the Tribal aspect of the episode.
Yeah, it kept you on edge, didn't it? It was like a twist without even having a twist. It was for a first vote. It was like I was not expecting that at all. And then Anthea's little, bit in the middle of it, the what in the world, that was a good little moment. And how she was trying to put that into it. And because the rest of the tribe, only a couple of the tribe knew what it was, right? And so they would have just been, not had any idea what she kept saying what in the world for. And it wouldn't have even clocked that she was saying it that many times. But, as a viewer watching it, it was so funny the amount of time she tried to get it in there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love that stuff. I love that Canberra is not against trying new things. And I feel like that was a cool little addition. And the players love that stuff. Like if you're a player and you get that little thing you have to do, you're giggling the whole time you're doing it. You're loving it. You're like, wow, I feel like I'm actually on Survivor. Something else that I found really interesting, obviously the main talking point was obviously the double tie vote and all that kind of stuff. We have a few comments here that I think are interesting. I feel the alliance of 4 not all voting together was very interesting, potentially leading to the splitting. Does anyone have noted down who voted where for that split? Can we just go through that? Yeah, I find that very interesting.
All I remember is Maddie voting Aiden and then went back to Jay.
Yes. So
her spring back and forth through the.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. So for the first vote on Jay, it was John, Squin, Eden, and Aiden. And then for Aiden, it was Bethany, Anthea, Maddie, and Jay. So that was the initial vote. Yeah, that's the initial votes. And then when we get to the next vote, yeah, both Eden and Maddie just switch. So that's why it becomes a tie again, because they both decide to change their vote.
Like that.
Yeah. Has this type of vote ever happened? Like round one of voting, has this ever happened in an LRG before?
Don't think so, not from what I know.
Yeah, if anyone knows in the comments, let us know. But wild.
I'm also look. I know Sam has the scalding takes, but I'm gonna add in. I really believe in this one that James Wolfe says. When it came to having the unanimous consensus named after 2 votes, if it started from Maddie saying Aiden instead of John saying Jay first, do you think that we could have seen a rock draw? I 100% believe this because it's all momentum. If you go from left to right and the first person says Jordo, everyone else is going to say Jordo because they know if they don't say Jordo, then they're going to rocks. Yeah. So you don't want to be the person that sends your entire group to rocks. So you just play with it, and all it takes is one person to flip, and next thing you know, you're out. So I definitely think that was something that maybe they could have figured out another way to do it. I don't know how you do it. But yeah, I definitely didn't think that was the right way to go about it.
Totally agree with that. I wonder, it felt very sudden to go into that vote. Did they have time to talk? Like, as in, we obviously heard from both Aiden and Jay they gave a little pitch. I don't know if that was like directed or guided, but they went for it. Yeah, I felt like both did a good job. I feel like Aiden did a better job. And I feel like Jay probably missed out again on inserting himself into the argument. He was sort of left it to them and it was like, you guys have to decide anyway. Whereas I feel like they wanted him to fight maybe a little bit more. I don't know. That was just a thought that I had. But I think you're right. When it comes to the vote and like reading out the like saying your vote or whatever, I do feel like it needs to be up to them to create the environment in which they do that, because it has to be their decision. So rather than going through like individually, like we saw and being directed, maybe it's just like, you guys need to come to this. Let me know. We need this in 30 seconds or whatever it is, Mm-hmm. How are the comments going with this? Because I feel like this is...
can we go to this comment?
Sorry, we saw this just real quick. Ed is saying there was a more discussion at the consensus tiebreaker, not Ed. Wow, they're hiding content from us.
We need a director's cut.
Wow.
And then there's just this Nathan.
Yeah. Who's this
from Mac? Shout out Mac from the Buffs Blindside and Dancer podcast.
Yeah. So obviously, like from a production standpoint, totally understand if there's a lot of talking and we get the result that we got, then I understand cutting out all the discussion if it's going around in circles and we need to cut down on time somewhere. Totally understand that. Totally appreciate that. Just a question that we had about the going around the circle sort of thing. So let's just have a look at some of these other comments as well.
Keep in mind,
yes, exactly.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Maddie kept flipping. And even at that, if you have a look, there was a little moment where they were standing there before they were meant to vote. And then you saw Maddie whisper something to Aiden, but then she voted Aiden. So it's like, what was she doing? Like, was she trying to trick him, or was she trying to see what he was doing and then go with what he says? Or you just don't know.
I honestly feel like it was probably just... Sometimes in these things, you don't have the time to go just swing back around and do it, like, and do the whole confirmation again. So maybe they just said things and were like, I'm just going to decide in the moment. Like,
well, if they confirmed in the first place rather than go back and forth, you'd probably understand. There was just so much discussion back and forth and changing names, and this person run into that person. It was
We're getting insider knowledge here. A very ill-timed toilet break by me, Maddie, and Jay.
Ooh.
And as Eden says, the butterfly effect.
So good. Here's a take from Mac as well. Abolish the consensus discussion. It should automatically go to rocks after 2 votes. Interesting thought. Yeah. I guess so.
that would be interesting, actually.
Yeah. So they have
It
to
would be cutthroat. It would
It's like
be cutthroat.
what we said. Like if John spoke, John was spoken to first, and then everyone went off that. If they didn't get that option, it would be like straight to it, and whoever's gone. And then the 2 who were at the bottom are now at the top because they're both safe.
Yeah.
I reckon that would have been it. Yeah, I agree with that.
For sure.
But
anyway,
actually,
this is just from Survivor Canberra confirming what had happened. So just so everyone knows.
But just so everyone knows, I will never be bought out by Survivor Canberra. I will always be here saying my hot takes, and they can't pay for our silence. The Backbenchers podcast is too democratic. We will never allow them to silence us. Viva la resistance, am I right, guys?
No,
we just did an episode 1.5, the director's cut, so we can see all this stuff. All right, this is going to help us.
Oh man,
I feel like we're talking too much about this. I'm going to move on. What about the Swamp of Sadness?
Yeah,
I thought that was interesting. I have so many
story
what
on my
think that is?
Swamp of Sadness.
Jay just rocks up at Jordan's house. He's like, "What are you doing here?" The Swamp of Sadness. It's like, how do you know?
It's us.
So funny. Yeah, like I think great.
It's cool.
Give it another shot. We don't know what it's going to look like. Like it was so vague. Like we actually have 0. Like so. Just for those waiting, like sometimes in the past where someone has been voted off, we get to chat to them on the podcast, and we don't get to chat to Jay tonight because he is in the Swamp of Sadness currently, because that's what they would like us to think, that it is happening in real time. But yeah, so we don't get to chat with him yet.
No. But and the thing is, we don't know like how long he's going to be there. Will he get to come back and play at all, or is he just there and then if
maybe that's him? Maybe he's there for life. Maybe that's just where he's left to go and see you, Jay.
Do we see him trying to get back in the game, or is it just happened behind the scenes and we just see who comes back? We don't know. So
yeah, interesting.
Second chance and gets more screen time because I don't. Yeah.
We've got a few comments here that we might just bring up about it.
Jay's a believer now. We're doing this song. Shrek. I love the references.
Do you know what upsets me the most about Jay being there is that we're not going to get to count how many he had.
Yes, right. Did you do the count? You said you were going to.
I did. So in this episode, he hit 44 times.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's a lot of screen time.
Well, and because in his interview, he had like 72, I think I said. And some of that, in this episode was his interview, but still 44 times, just, with the limited screen time he had. Good grief. Imagine how much they cut out.
I'm not even mad about it, to be honest. I'm not even mad about it. I love it. I love Jay. I would love to go get a beer with Jay. I think Jay lives in Brisbane. And so Jay, come on, man. Like we should go out with, and Aston lives in Brisbane too. Let's go get a beer sometime. That'd be so great.
Jay's washed. He is in the swamp.
That is.
Oh, sorry. He's in the swamp. Correct. Currently.
Oh, well, sorry. I'm going back to this. I'll replace Marcus with you. Yeah, good luck. My legion of fans will block the door before you ever get close to me. And you better be careful because I know everything about this season. I'll expose you, Dan. I'll expose Liv. I'll blow up this whole podcast. I don't care. My ego's through the roof.
Marcus, in Survivor Canberra's defense, you did get Jay in your Mars Mountain, and you were wrong. So,
hey, the mountain dictates. The mountain does what it does.
We'll get to
Love it.
Just so you know, everyone, I did have my cursor over the mute button for Marcus. I'm willing to use it if at any point we need it. Just so everyone is okay with that. Okay.
Oh God.
I don't have to control anymore. Sam is in charge of my destiny.
That's right, man. You gotta be aware. Awesome. I think such a great first episode. I think really good stuff. Like so keen to see what happens. Keen to see where this vote actually ends up, like when they get back to camp, like how do they justify what's happened? Obviously super keen to see what happens with the Swamp of Sadness. Hopefully we get some more info soon, or maybe they're just going to keep it a bit ambiguous for now until we need to know, which is also fine. Yeah, I just want to also highlight Anthea. I think she did such a great job with that twist and dealing with it. I'm glad that people didn't see her face, though. I'm glad she was at the front and not facing people, because I feel like that might have given it away a little bit. But I feel like, yeah, she just added an extra one in at the very end too, just in case she needed more. Loved it. I thought it was so great. And
I just need to see what happens now. Like, where does it lead to? Come on, give us.
Yeah, we
didn't get the answer.
Yeah, we want to know. We want to see. I also loved how they teed up Eden getting fake bitten by an ant. I'm assuming that was fake. Like, did they talk about that?
They talked about it earlier.
Yeah. Like,
and Anthea had a little thing of what they would do, and then Eden said that he'd get bitten by a bug or something and scream. So yeah,
so great. I love things like that. That is, the planning on that is awesome. Pity they couldn't plan their votes just as well. But anyway, that's fine. So stressful when Anthea was only 4 and Tribal Council was about to end. I know.
Yes.
I loved the counter down the bottom too. A great
So
editing tip there. That's really, really good. Amazing. Where are we going to go now? Does anyone? Okay, first of all, let's put it to the chat. Does anyone have any questions that we haven't answered? Anything that you want us to cover? We might give you a couple of seconds just to post a few things. And we might just move on to, well, actually, do you want to go, should we go to Marcus's Mountain? Should we do it?
Let's do it.
Do the fans want it? Do the fans want it? I don't know. Like, I hear the fans want it.
All right, guys.
Let's see what he gets from this week. I love it. I can't
whilst we're doing My Mountain, get your comments in. We'll do a Q&A after.
Absolutely. But everyone get in your comments about Marcus, because he wants his ego to just feel a little bit bigger tonight. All right, guys? So pump him up. Let's go.
All right. Guys, firstly, I just want to say that we thank the Lord and Savior Ma up the top of the mountain. Thank you so much for allowing us yet again to have a peek into the mountain, the glorious mountain. We thank everyone. We sacrifice. We almost sacrificed me, but I'm back here, so we're just grateful for another week of checking out the mountain. Let's firstly have a recap. This was pre-week 1. This was pre-week 1, and I know what you're thinking. Wow, you've smashed this, Marcus. What a outstanding list. You're seeing Eden at the top. You're seeing Pauline there. You're seeing Andrew and Bethany and Swin. And there was someone else that we're not going to talk about, because Jay has fallen off the mountain. He's had a bad go. He's had a humongous fall. It was honestly pretty disgusting to watch. It's okay though. He's in the Swamp of Sadness.
Yeah, he had soft cushioning in the swamp. He's fine.
But right now, there's a gap to fill. There's a gap to fill, guys. There's a gap to fill. I know what you're thinking. Will it be a new person? Will it be a person from above going down? The question is going to be answered right now. At the third spot of the third tier, we have Anthea. Anthea, welcome to the mountain. We have a new person on the mountain. She pushed in front of everyone, went, stuff the line. I'm going to start climbing the rocks. And she's already up at the third tier. I think Andrew and Bethany are going to stay there. I still like Andrew, still like Bethany. I need a little bit more from them. I need Andrew to go to Tribal for me to be locked in on him going higher. But Bethany, you're there. I still think you're a solid choice. And Anthea, congratulations. You're on the mountain. Now we have the second. And these were the people from last week.
Eden.
Pauline and Squin are very, very good people. But not only is Jay off the mountain, there is someone else that is entirely off the mountain. And I'm telling you, this is not me. I didn't decide these things. The mountain is vicious. It is vicious. It is pulled up on tier 2. You got to step up. If you want to be the top 3, you got to step up, guys. And that's why Sabrina's up on this list. Sabrina was great. Finally the advantage, being involved in every conversation. She really impressed me. But at the end of the day, there's only one person that's on top of this mountain. And maybe I'm biased, if you think if you're a hater of me, you're gonna hate this pick. But it's my man. He was just so impressive in episode 1. He was in everything, and I really think that this is the 6. 6 now. That's right. I know maths. But that's my current list currently. I'm also going to add another segment, which will addition. These are people that are in line for the mountain. These are the people that aren't on the mountain, but they're in the line. We got Squin. I'm not saying she had a massive fall, but I just need to see a bit more. We got Maddie, Oscar, and Ed. They were people that really impressed me. Not enough to take out the top dogs, but those are the people that are in the pipeline. But you never know what's going to happen on my mountain. As Jay found out, he fell a very vicious fall, and there could be another fall next week. I doubt it because I'm amazing. But there's my list. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. It's fantastic, and
Quite a few
I hope you guys
actually.
a lot of comments. Squin is a goddess. I totally understand, but I don't decide the mountain, guys. I don't decide it because she comes through me like a spirit possession, and it just picks it for me. What other comments we got here? We got the one that Marcus is getting hooked up this podcast. Where is Maddie running the show? See, as you can see, she's very close. You see, they jump to conclusions, guys. They jump to conclusions and they start hating on my comments and hating on me and trying to tear me down, Sam. But this is going to go well. And as I said, I think if people look at that list, minus Jay, I think it was a pretty good first list. And Todd's still not there. Sorry, Sam. Look, Bethy knows what's going on. Everyone, look at this. Well done, Marcus. You talk too much, Marcus. You're on thin ice as well. But yes, that's my list, guys. Look forward to next week for me to be wrong again. But hopefully these people on the list are not going to disappoint me. I hope so. But I could be wrong. What is everyone's thoughts on it? Does everyone disagree? Hate me, love me? I'm excited to hear. Make your own Mar Mountains. Maybe you can make your own.
That's nice.
Who would people swap out?
What I would say about Eden is I do agree. He had people speaking on his behalf in a really good way. I think he was not only trying to make moves, but he had enough insulation from people around him that they were also trying to cover for him too.
Yeah.
So I think that's really great. In this vote in particular, it would have been really interesting to see what happened on the other side if they were to go to tribal, because I feel like possibly the same thing would have happened with like an Andrew or Sab, for example. I feel like people might have been talking on their behalf to try and really protect them. So yeah, I think this is a good list.
There's a good question here, actually, while we're talking about questions.
Yeah, cool.
With the John 3 and the dysfunctional 4, will there be a swing vote in the middle? If so, who, or will the 4th win out?
I think the 4. I think the 4 is going to be strong. I don't see the vote mix up and think, oh, that's dysfunctional. I understand it's a topic that will come from it, but I think it'll just be a quick chat of, oh, like, lol, we mucked it up a little bit, and they just lock back in again.
But the thing is, they don't confirm. So that's where the muck-ups were. None of them were confirming. They were still trying to figure it out at the last minute. So I reckon it will end badly because no one's really they're communicating, but they're not actually communicating. So it could be interesting to see.
Yeah. I feel like it's I feel like in the fall we'll sort of work it out for this next one at least. And then is there we have no idea what's coming up. We are unspoiled of this season, but is there a swap, sooner rather than later? If so, very interesting times ahead, I would say. I think there was another question I just wanted to go back to, but maybe I think that was good. Incredible. Guys, this is been such a great episode, chatting about episode 1 of Survivor Canberra vs. the World. Incredible first episode. It just gets me so excited for what's to come. Dan and Liv, we can't wait to see you back on our screens very shortly. Thank you so much for everyone in the comments and who's tuned in live. I know also some people watch it later, so thank you for watching it later. That's so awesome. We are going to be back next week, but first of all, there is episode 2 coming out on Friday. So stay up to date on socials at Survivor Canberra on Instagram and on Facebook as well. And obviously subscribe on their YouTube. Much appreciated. Yeah. Any thoughts on sorry, that's what we didn't cover. Any thoughts on the next time on Survivor Canberra?
I just want to know who spilled the coffee. That is causing drama already. Look at that. Not that I care. I hate coffee, so spill it away. But
is it Todd?
Yeah, I want to go back and see, because obviously you will be able to work it out. So I have to go back and watch the preview. But yeah, obviously it causes some drama.
Absolutely, it does. Yeah, which I'm so excited for, which is very cool. Any thoughts on next episode, Marcus?
No, like I'm just excited. I think there's a lot of potential. I love when episode ends with like things to discuss. I think there's a lot of stuff on the tribe that voted out, and I think even the other tribe, there's still things that we're working out. So I'm just really excited. I feel like the execution of the edit means that we're going to get to really know a lot of these players, which is what you want. I'm okay with a long intro going through everyone. So I want to meet all these people because they've been picked for a reason. And everyone, all the people that we hear that were on the day saying the cast is one of the best casts they've experienced. So I'm just super excited to get to know everyone. And eventually we'll get down to it. And I'm just super excited. It makes the end of the week way more exciting to have a new episode, and you go, oh wow, the episode's up. Super excited to watch that. And yeah, so everyone give your opinions in the comments. We love to hear them. And yeah, super excited.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, such a great cast, such a great episode. I love how they just leave us hanging. We don't know what the Swamp of Sadness is all about. We don't know what those little tokens are on the tribe flags. We don't even know what's happening with these advantages yet. And so I think
we don't even know what in the world.
What in the world is happening? So good. Well, join us next Monday. We will be back to recap episode 2. I'll be joined by James and Derek next week, and so we're so excited to have them on board for the first time. I think that's great. I know we have a bunch of incredible people on this podcast this season, so stay tuned, everyone. We can't wait to unpack it with you all. Keep your comments coming. Enjoy it, share it, like it, subscribe, all that sort of stuff, and we will see you soon. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Peace.